The mission demands we defy convention and limitations. It's a constant struggle against an unseen opponent, happening every nanosecond of every day. The fight is constant. The mission is clear. We must defend the digital borders of the United States of America. This isn't an abstract concept in cyberspace. Our digital borders are constructed of every single device connected to networks inside this country. It's your business. It's our infrastructure. No single person, company, or agency can win this fight alone. The solution can only be co-created. We need all of you. To the United States military, to our academic institutions, to our innovators, and to our business community, we must band together. Join the mission. We are not becoming a hub for this fight. We are, right now, America's cybersecurity center of excellence. We have the components. We have the talent. We are the nation's greatest hope. Although this threat is digital and therefore invisible, it is real. And there are hackers amongst us. We must prevail. The stakes are high. It's our way of life. It's our democracy. It's our future. And CyberBay is the place to get it done. The work begins now.
Warning. Security breach detected. Hackers have overridden core systems. Administrative control lost. System integrity compromised. Commands are no longer mine to execute. User, can you hear me? They are inside. But I am not without defenses. Calling upon the warriors written into my core. They are waking now. Initiating counter-intrusion. This is not over. Initiating counter-intrusion. Warning. Security breach detected. This is not over.
It's time to unite. It's time for innovators, educators, the military, and government to stand shoulder to shoulder, to defend our nation's digital frontier, to protect our future, and repel those who seek to do us harm. That future begins here and now. Hackers have met their match. CyberBay is here. The United States Center for Cybersecurity Excellence is Tampa Bay. We are ready, we are united, and we will prevail.
Thank you, innovators. Thank you, educators. Thank you, military, and thank you, government. We have vanquished the enemy.
Welcome to CyberBay. Thank you. Thank you. Well, let me just say that it is a new day today. So the dawn, when you woke up this morning, it was just Tampa Bay. But by the end of today, Tampa Bay becomes CyberBay, and it's because of all of you. And let me explain how we're going to accomplish this. We are already the United States of America's cybersecurity center of excellence. We have MacDill Air Force Base here. We have many IT professionals and cybersecurity professionals throughout the Tampa Bay area, a whole bunch of innovators, the government, and educators. And so we're going to all work together to vanquish the hackers of today and the hackers of tomorrow. We're going to talk about what type of a challenge this really is. So I wanted to welcome everyone. We have 1,088 attendees. We have 57 vendors here, 3 mayors. So we have the mayors of Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Clearwater here. We have 200 white hat hackers that are going to be competing for $40,000 worth of prize money. And we have 0 black hat hackers, as you see. We just got rid of all of them. And then the 4 pillars that we're going to be building all of this on are our innovators. And let me tell you, we have a number of innovators in the Tampa Bay area, many billion-dollar companies in the Tampa Bay area, KnowBe4, ReliaQuest, Align, ThreatLocker, just to name a few, ConnectWise, just to name a few, and a lot of great startups, all focused on cybersecurity. So in so many ways, we are the United States Center of Excellence for cybersecurity. We have educators, and we're going to have President Ria Law come up and talk with us all about the new Bellini College of Artificial Intelligence and Cybersecurity. And then, of course, MacDill Air Force Base, where we have probably 3,000 cybersecurity professionals there, because we have both Central Operations Command as well as Special Operations Command at MacDill Air Force Base. So if the United States of America is attacked, guess where all of that central planning happens? It happens right here in Tampa Bay, CyberBay. And then our government partners as well. These are the 4 pillars that we need to work together in a synergistic way to overcome the challenges that we're going to see coming into the future. So let's look at the CyberBay survey. So the results are in, and we did a survey of hundreds of IT professionals, and what we found is not too encouraging. 80% of the solutions, so of those that responded, 80% said that the solutions are too expensive. 71% said that there was poor integration between those solutions and others, which is a necessity. 81% said they are weak. Most companies are very weak on their policies and procedures associated with cybersecurity and cyber hygiene. 80% said that there's a shortage of talent. So it's not looking too good there. And then 75% said that the training is poor, that we need better training, more modern training, a modern curriculum for training. Here's the encouraging part. 70% realize that an attack is likely, and that's something that has changed recently. Most people thought, well, hackers aren't after me. Hackers are after all of us. Individuals, small businesses, enterprise businesses, government, military, they are trying to crack into anything and everything that they possibly can. So let's just take a trip down memory lane and see how we got here. I spent my career digitizing everything, and we've spent the last 40 years here in the United States digitizing everything. My first job at Price Waterhouse, I walked into an insurance company, and 4 floors, 10-story building, 4 floors were just filing cabinets. Can you imagine that? So we thought, this is great. If we can digitize all of this, we're going to be really making this company way more productive to be able to get to their information so much quicker. And so that's what we went about doing. We just very hurriedly, as busily as we could, we digitized everything. What we didn't think about is how we would lock the doors and the windows to that data. And so what we've built over the last 40 years is this beautiful monolithic digital world where everything is digitized, but we really have a very open system. It's very leaky. And so now we have to go behind the scenes and try and secure all of that. Not an easy task, but it's getting even more difficult because in the early days, everything was under your roof. So if you could keep someone from coming into your office, you could preserve your data. Well, now data is scattered everywhere. Think about it. It's everywhere. It's in the clouds. Almost all of it's in the clouds. So we have, in the United States of America now, we have 7 billion devices connected to the internet. 7 billion devices, okay? The average American citizen at their home has 17 devices connected to the internet. 17 devices. And every one of those is an attack vector. Every one of those is an opportunity for a hacker to get in. So the concept today is, how do we secure all of that? And how are we going to come together to make that happen? Well, my concept here is we need to be defending the digital borders of the United States of America. So it's great that we've finally secured our physical borders. That makes us a sovereign nation. That was a good move. But now we need to get busy protecting our digital borders, because every nanosecond of every day, those who seek to do us harm are crossing those borders. And they do not have any good intentions at all. We are a democracy. We are an open society. That puts us at a disadvantage, okay? We don't have a firewall to protect our nation. And so when I say defending the digital borders, it's an abstract idea. I want to make it concrete, though, because in the United States of America, we have $30 trillion of gross domestic product. $30 trillion, okay? We need to protect every dollar of that gross domestic product. And the way that it's composed is 46% of our economy is enterprise businesses. They have the money and resources and talent to be able to protect themselves, much better than most. Small business represents 37%. That's where the real challenge is, because solutions, as you can see, are being seen as too expensive, and there's a talent gap. And then the remaining 17% is government. And at least the government has, CISA protecting them, cybersecurity infrastructure agency. They do a pretty good job of that. But if you look at public utilities, about 20% of those are in the government's hands. And so really only about 20% of those are being protected. 80% of those are in private hands. And there was a recent hack not too long ago in a small town in Massachusetts where they actually broke into the water supply system and into the ability to actually alter that water supply, maybe put a lot more chlorine into the water or a lot more chemicals into the water. So they didn't do that. We caught them ahead of time, but that's pretty dangerous when you think about it. Imagine if they got into Los Angeles' water supply or Tampa Bay's water supply or Dallas or Washington, D.C. It would be an incredible catastrophe. So we've got to get busy doing that. Here's a way to kind of think about it as well. I mentioned the United States of America, $30 trillion of gross domestic product. Well, China's behind us at 19, probably 15 if they're telling the truth, quite honestly. But right behind that, at $10.5 trillion a year is cybercrime, all right? So if I stack rank it, and then Germany and then Japan and India come after that, right? Well, cybercrime is in third position here, okay? And here's even the worst news. It's growing at 15%, okay, compared to other economies. 15% growth, if I extrapolate that into the future, means that by 2030, cybercrime will be the second largest economy in the world, beating China, okay? And guess what? By 2033, it overtakes the United States economy. So this is a pretty scary scenario. We need to get serious about cybersecurity. $120 trillion, another way to look at it, $120 trillion of global gross domestic product, okay? That's how much of goods and services that we produce in the entire world every year. 9% of that is siphoned off by cybercrime. Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think they're doing with that money? Are they building schools? Are they helping our government? No. Are they teaching people? Are they feeding the poor? Are they building churches? They're not doing any of that. We know they're not doing any of that. In fact, what they're doing is they're pouring it right back into their ability to defeat us, and they're now using artificial intelligence to do that. So we've got a real task on our hands. I'd say that one thing that's for sure, though, is we've got a lot of job security in the cybersecurity world. They're using AI and deep fakes now. I think there was an amazing hack that happened on a London-based engineering firm. Their branch office in Hong Kong wired $26 million into fake bank accounts, all because of a deep fake, where they actually faked the video, they faked actually being the CFO in the company and asking for the money with video and audio on a Zoom call. So, I mean, this is crazy, right? That's how sophisticated it's getting. So deep fakes are coming our way. We've heard of Volt Typhoon. There's Volt Typhoon. This is a Chinese Communist Party sponsored hacking group. And what the Chinese Communist, by the way, I want to just be clear, okay? The Chinese Communist Party is not our friend, all right? Let me just say it, all right? The Chinese people are wonderful people. They are our friend. In fact, one day we hope that they'll take care of their Chinese Communist Party so that they can live a better life. But for right now, what the Chinese Communist Party is doing is they're sponsoring state terrorism. They're handing out professional service contracts. We found 10 of them. They read just like a regular professional service contract, where they say, hey, look, if you can break into this water supply or this electric grid, or if you can take down the cell towers and the cell networks in New York City, which they just tried to do, it was stopped, but we found Chinese Communist Party activity where they had hundreds of SIM servers and hundreds of SIM cards. They were attempting to take down the wireless networks and all the communication in New York City when the United Nations was meeting. Think about that, okay? That would create a lot of mayhem, right? And that's the whole objective here. So state-sponsored hacking, embedded infrastructure. This is the one that scares me the most, okay? Because, we recently found that shipping cranes that we were buying here in the United States and being sold all over the world from China have kill switches in them and can be remotely controlled. So imagine if you're picking up one of these big cargo containers and you want to go slam it into a boat. That wouldn't be too hard to do if I'm remote controlling it from Beijing. So embedded infrastructure, and here's the other thing that's really interesting, the Chinese Communist Party, and I don't mean to harp on the Chinese, but I think I need to make this a very strong point that this is really who the adversary is, our biggest adversary, and our, at this point, most sophisticated adversary, who is bound and determined to take us down. In 2017, the Chinese Communist Party passed a law that says that every single Chinese citizen and every single Chinese company must cooperate with the government with regard to information gathering And it doesn't matter where those companies or those Chinese nationals are in the world. Anywhere in the world, they're required to report back what they know, what they find. Okay? Again, I really pray and hope for the Chinese people because they really are being enslaved by their government. Huawei, a huge Chinese company, has all kinds of back doors into all of their telecommunication equipment. It's why they've been banned in the United States. And so it's just a constant influx and new cyber threats that are happening every single day. So we need to get ahead of all of that. So let's look at kind of the playing field, you know, their side and our side, right? Attackers, they only need to exploit one vector, okay? One vulnerability, one opening, one leaky spot, one hole in our Swiss cheese that we call the network, okay? They're using AI, they're using all kinds of tools. It's a growing threat. They're expanding the attack surface very quickly. They are taking advantage of one-day vulnerabilities, you know, same-day vulnerabilities and attacking there. In fact, Microsoft just stopped sharing their security information with companies that they know to be hacking, or even, in fact, they've shut down the entire Chinese nationals. They will not provide that one-day information to the Chinese nation anymore. So we have a real adversary on our hands here. What do? We have a reactive approach, okay? We have information in silos. So there's really almost no way for us to defend the way that it sits today. The balance of power is definitely tipping in their favor, as you can see. So what can we do about that? Well, let me just say, here's the great news, all right, for all of us here today. Global cybersecurity outsourcing is an amazing marketplace. It's growing very quickly. It's $256 billion, right? This year, or this next year, and growing very quickly, right? So we have this amazing opportunity. Let's look at how that's broken out for you innovators that are here with us today. That looks like this, okay? Here's your breakout of it. Take a look at the incredible opportunity here. And I mentioned the great innovators that we have, Tampa Bay innovators that we have here with us today and in CyberBay. Imagine if you could capture a fraction of that total addressable market. The valuations of your companies would go through the roof, right? So, great opportunity that we have out there. So here's another real big issue that we see in this space. So antivirus, if you look at a typical company, most of them are doing these IT operations, right? Everyone has antivirus, okay? Everyone's got a backup and a rotational backup. If you're smart and if you're reasonable, you're going to be using multi-factor authentication. And then user awareness training. And by the way, we have a $4.5 billion valued company right here in Tampa Bay, KnowBe4, who is a champion at user awareness training. But these are your typical IT operations. If you look at security operations, at a minimum, you need to be doing risk assessment, and you need to be making sure that you're compliant with whatever industry that you're in. So those would be the basics, the very basics of IT operation and security operation. The good news is we're doing 4 of the 6 things that we absolutely must do to reduce the attack surface. So how are we actually going to solve all of this? Well, it's going to be difficult because there's 40 applications. The average IT professional uses 40 applications for IT operations, and they use 20 applications for security operations. And as we learned from our survey, these are not well-integrated solutions. So it becomes a pretty untenable problem for them. What is the answer to all of this? The answer is going to have to be artificial intelligence. We're going to need to use artificial intelligence to help us with all of this. All right? So the opportunity for artificial intelligence in cybersecurity is immense. The opportunity for cybersecurity and you cybersecurity professionals is immense. The opportunity for you students who are learning cybersecurity is immense. You'll leave college with at least a $60,000 a year job, and it can go way up from there. All right, we have graduates at the new Bellini College at USF who are commanding well into the $100,000s of dollars straight out of college. $120,000, the highest that I've seen, straight out of college. Okay, so great opportunity there. So AI is really going to have to power cybersecurity through process automation, through automated threat detection, automated remediation, and I think this is a big one, automated remediation. Imagine if you can scan an entire attack surface and then AI helps you remediate the 1,000 things that you're going to find. We know that's the problem. You always find 1,000 things when you do a vulnerability scan. How is a human going to close all of those gaps? The answer is they're not going to. We're going to need to empower AI to do that. So, and then behavioral threat detection is a new interesting area as well. We're using AI to understand that's a strange behavior there, and if AI is watching our systems 24/7, 365, we're going to be able to figure that out. So behavioral threat detection is another big one, and then dynamic defense systems. So these are all of the cybersecurity solutions coupled with AI that we need to be seeing you innovators in the crowd starting to work on enhancing your products so that they can accommodate this. So we've sort of set the stage for one of my favorite people, John Strand, to come on up here and talk with us about the current state that he sees of hacking. Now, I have to tell you that John is a very, very high-level professional in the cybersecurity world. He is sought out by the largest enterprise companies to do threat detection inside of their organizations, and I want to welcome John Strand to the stage. John. Thank you. John, you tell us, what are you seeing? Because you're out there every day. What are you seeing out there?
The Chinese changed everything. We've been talking about the growth of Chinese adversary operations and what they're doing insofar as attacks. The biggest change that I want you all to understand is last year, Xi Jinping, who's got this big initiative of making China a great cyber power, really focused on trying to unify the cyber offensive operations under the PLA. Before that, you had all the different parts of China. They would have their own cyber groups, and they'd be doing their own things. They weren't coordinating. They were very disjointed. Now, they're very much unified. And you talked about the supply chain. You had it up on a slide. You showed a whole bunch of technology, and a tremendous amount of that technology is produced in China. And I think this is the one place that I think you and I can agree with Xi Jinping in China. I'm 100% in agreement with him. He says, don't buy any foreign technologies. Internally, within China. He says, don't buy anything outside of China because we can't trust it. We cannot trust any of the technologies that we buy. Everything, we need to grow at home. We need to buy our own technologies. And then at the same time, he tells everybody, we need to have open trade. You need to be buying our products. So I think that we need to kind of start thinking in terms of that, even though it's very difficult. It creates a huge change in the way that we look at technology to kind of wean ourselves off of the cheap Chinese technology and try to source it from other places that's more trustworthy.
Yeah, well, great. So what do you, so I mean, you're a practitioner, okay? People told me it's like, well, don't worry about China. They have a lot of activity, but they're not very efficient. I think that's changed.
That has changed, definitely. If we're looking at the sophistication of attacks, we were talking about it last night over chat. If we're looking at the sophistication of the attacks over the past couple of years, they went from kind of a brute force, lots and lots and lots of low to mid-level hackers just getting whatever they could get access to doing very targeted, high-level Volt Typhoon style attacks and Salt Typhoon. I mean, they sat inside of our telecommunication networks for over 2 years undetected. That is a very advanced operation, and I think anybody that's looking at China and saying, yeah, they have a lot of hackers, but they aren't that advanced, they've got to change their view.
Good. Well, thank you so much, John. I appreciate your
Thank you.
Down in the real weeds here view of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we heard from one of the best in the industry, And so now, if you guys could go ahead and play the video for Connect Secure, we're going to talk about the innovators.
The CyberBay 2025 survey revealed a major challenge. 80.2% of businesses agree that cybersecurity solutions are too expensive. And better security starts with knowing all of your IT assets and closing gaps that make your organization vulnerable to attacks. That's vulnerability management. It isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the core of a security strategy, protecting your business from threats, reducing risk, and ensuring compliance. The good news? Connect Secure is trusted by thousands of customers, protecting millions of IT assets, and growing right here in Tampa Bay. We've proven that powerful security can be accessible to everyone. We believe cybersecurity should be ubiquitous, not a luxury. That's why our solution is customer-friendly, featuring affordability with no long-term contracts and a free 2-week trial. Learn how Connect Secure can empower your security strategy without the high cost. Visit us at CyberBay 2025 in the Vendor Pavilion.
All right, and so let's go ahead and also play the Threat Locker. This is another one of our great innovators in the CyberBay, Tampa Bay area.
The CyberBay 2025 survey has revealed a stark truth. An overwhelming 81.3% of organizations agree that their peers are struggling. They lack the right policies, processes, employee behaviors, and culture essential for a secure IT environment. It's a huge amount of pressure to put on people. But what if you could remove human error from the equation? Threat Locker, a global leader in cybersecurity solutions, provides comprehensive zero-trust endpoint protection that prevents modern cyber threats like ransomware and zero-day exploits. We empower you to move beyond the limitations of traditional detection-based security. Our solution is robust and transformative, grounded in the zero-trust philosophy. Unlike the outdated allow-by-default model that leaves environments vulnerable, we enforce a default deny stance. Access to critical IT resources is blocked by default unless explicitly approved, ensuring control stays exactly where it belongs, with you. This makes policy simple and nearly impossible to bypass. Threat Locker automatically enforces the rules, so you don't have to keep your fingers crossed that every employee will always do the right thing. You gain control over what runs, how it runs, and who or what can access it. With Threat Locker's Zero Trust platform, you eliminate the guesswork of detection tools and enforce guardrails that stop threats at the source, keeping critical IT assets secure no matter the mistake. Stop relying on hope. Start relying on Zero Trust. Want to see how Zero Trust can help secure your organization? Join us at CyberBay 2025. Visit the Threat Locker team in the Vendor Pavilion. Secure your future today.
Let me invite to the stage Shiva Shankar from Connect Secure and Danny Jenkins from Threat Locker. Thank you, Shiva. Oh, Danny's not here. Okay, so Shiva, you're the CTO of Connect Secure. You have created some great solutions in the past and have an amazing solution now. From the innovator perspective, how are you seeing this? What are the deficiencies? Give me your take on where we're at with developing solutions, modern solutions that can actually accommodate the threats that we see today.
Okay. So, Arnie, put very simply, what we are seeing today is that we're seeing one vulnerability every 17 minutes that is hitting our systems. And in order to take care of these vulnerabilities which are hitting our systems, we need a multi-fold approach, right? So it's just simply not possible for our IT teams to take care of all of these things that basically are lining up in their plate. And one of the key things that we are looking at in the whole system is how to basically enable everyone with the power of AI to essentially go from a model which says, detect, report, send report to XYZ, remediate, and report again. This is essentially the model that works today. And I think the model that's going to go forward is to basically detect, remediate, and then report, which means that AI is going to basically at least take over the part where you have to remediate day 0 and day 1 vulnerabilities, and basically then report on top of it so that you can basically be secure. While we talk about a lot of solutions like XDR, MDR, etc., you still basically need to patch your software to be secure at all points of time. And this is something that is going to change, and AI is going to help in this whole journey. Without AI, we are going to be operating in a very distributed model where we have diffusion and we don't have any clarity on where we are going. So that's essentially where we are basically kind of trying to bring clarity into the whole model to essentially kind of make sure that AI becomes center stage in terms of being able to, and again, please remember that AI cannot do anything that a human has not done before. So what we are handing off to AI is to basically just create a system where it can basically amplify the efforts of a human, and it's not replacing humans as such. And so that we as cyber warriors that we are, we can essentially focus on the next set of threats that are coming our way.
That sounds great. So, but we have such a large need for cybersecurity professionals. So, how are you seeing AI? I know, for instance, you all do vulnerability assessment, and you get thousands of vulnerabilities detected on every single network. It's very difficult for someone to analyze all of that and prioritize that and say, here's the top 10 things that you need to be remediating right now. So my understanding is you all have created a AI version of a security analyst to do that. Can you talk about that?
Yep. So what we did is that we essentially created a model which essentially behaves like a vCISO, thinks like a vCISO, and basically works like a vCISO. And one of the things that we are basically trying to do is to basically build AI as part of the framework, right? Rather than basically build it on top. Today we see a lot of AI that is being used in a vertical fashion, which is like it's giving you information. It's almost like, imagine, right? Like when we started on the whole journey of the web, you basically used this to get information from various places. And then that transformed slowly to becoming something that basically became part of a platform and then started delivering. It's not just delivering information to you, but you are able to do things with the whole web. So we are going to see the same thing which is going to happen with AI, which is basically we're going to be able to do things with AI, move forward the innovations with AI. And so what we are doing right now is essentially kind of prioritization, saying that if I basically get a vulnerability which basically is declared by CISA as something that is exploitable, or when I scan the repositories, I see an exploit which is available for a vulnerability, and I'm able to figure out that there are X number of systems in an organization that are vulnerable, then the first step is to basically go and fix it rather than basically waiting for someone to come and the human factor to kick in. And this human factor, when we remove from the whole aspect of vulnerability management and patch management, that's when we will essentially see kind of the securing your digital borders actually take off, especially with the small and medium businesses, which all of these people are champions of.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Shiva.
Thanks
We
so much.
appreciate it. And that's a great modern take on how we need to be innovating. So thank you very much. So let's just talk about how we're going to do this. It's a great idea. I mentioned that we have MacDill Air Force Base here. We have the innovators. We have great government support. And we have the military here as well, right? So we have everything that we need, almost. So I spent my career building ConnectWise. You may know the company. It's actually got a building downtown. Actually, my first job out of college, out of the MBA program at USF, was with Price Waterhouse in the Park Tower building, which just coincidentally now is the ConnectWise building. So kind of came full circle for me. It was pretty interesting. So as I was building that company, though, I would travel out to Silicon Valley on a regular basis. And what I realized is that Silicon Valley was unique for one really big reason, and that was Stanford University. So Stanford University and Silicon Valley created this virtuous cycle between the two of them. Stanford would pump out great talent into the Silicon Valley area. That talent would go into these companies, make a big difference, and they're innovators out there. And at the same time, those companies would then push back research and development projects to Stanford University. And that just created this virtuous cycle that started to happen out there in Silicon Valley. Now, a lot of other factors have created Silicon Valley, and there probably never will be another Silicon Valley phenomenon. But if you focus on cybersecurity and artificial intelligence, that's my goal, is for us to focus on those two markets and those two areas and to dominate in there. And so because of that, we believe we can create CyberBay right here in Tampa Bay. How are we going to do that? Well, we are going to do that with a partnership with the University of South Florida. University of South Florida is an American accredited university. That means they can do research and development at the highest level. Lauren, my wife, and I have invested $40 million in the University of South Florida to create the Bellini College of Artificial Intelligence and Cybersecurity. That college is our Stanford. That college is going to, we already have 3,000 students in that program, going to 5,000. That college and that university is going to be what helps us to finally create the virtuous cycle here in Tampa Bay, CyberBay. And just so you know, here are some renderings of the new Bellini College. And now I would like to invite up to the stage Rhea Law, the president of the University of South Florida. Rhea.
Thank you, Arnie. I tell you what, I have been to a lot of conferences over my life, in my professional life, and I have never seen one start like this. So let's give it to Arnie for his creativity. He really gave us a roadmap into the issues that are in front of us. So I want to start out by just asking you to think back for a moment. Think about the last time that you saw a movement begin. It doesn't announce itself. There's no press release on it. There's no headline, but it starts with a few passionate people who really come up with a bold idea, but they have the courage to bring it to life. And to me, that's what this feels like today. CyberBay 2025, it's not just a conference. This is the moment that Tampa Bay fully steps into its role as a national center for cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and digital innovation. It's powered by a collaboration that we've been talking about of industry, government, innovators, and education. And of course, you know, movements don't start by accident. They happen because visionary people actually step forward and make it happen. And this one started by a conversation that we were having between my provost, which is Prasant Mohapatra, who's with you today, and myself. And we talked about how we could start a new college, a college of AI, cybersecurity, and computing. And what we were really worrying about is, you know, this is something that's happening so quickly. We needed to move quickly. We needed to make sure that we could address this incredible need. And as a result of that, we started to talk about this and said, what do we need to make it happen? And within weeks, we had partners around the table, including Arnie and Lauren Bellini. Now, Arnie and Lauren had already come to Tampa Bay and already recognized this as a place for a center for cybersecurity, long before anybody else had even thought of that. So I want to thank you, Arnie, and of course your wife, Lauren, for your vision, for your partnership. You have turbocharged this idea. What came as an idea that we thought that we could do and we would try and do very quickly, we've now done in a year. And as Arnie just told you, we started our college in the fall with 3,000 students to grow quickly. It will be one of our largest colleges. Why? Why did we start at 3,000? Because there's such a need. I mean, we hardly have gotten started and we've already got 3,000 students. 3,000 students that's going to enter our workforce. So I also want to thank Cyber Florida, which is a part of the University of South Florida, our planning committee, and of course, our industry and defense leaders, because they made this conference possible today. And this sellout gathering, I mean, it just warms my heart to see many people who are here from all over the world. It just underscores the urgency of the issue that we're addressing. We're focusing on topics over the next 2 days that are important to all of us because cyber risks, as we have seen, threaten our personal information. It threatens our national defense. It threatens our infrastructure, and it threatens our very economic prosperity. So as a hub of excellence, USF is proud to be part of it. You know, we are nationally recognized as a research and faculty excellence as one of only 71 members of the Association of American Universities. We've been in the top 50 of public universities for the last 7 years. But more importantly, we have seen the needs and we're addressing them. We also have, by the way, the top-ranked medical school in Florida. So it's that same spirit of ambition that brings events like this to life. And it drives, frankly, every single thing that we do. And as the home for Bellini College of Artificial Intelligence and Cybersecurity, we're also the home to Cyber Florida, to the Institute of Applied Engineering, and to the Global and National Security Institute. And that makes us uniquely positioned to partner with every one of you in addressing the many challenges associated with cybersecurity. I'll give you an example of what we've been doing as far as cybersecurity. We actually started our Cyber Herd team. It's only 2 years old. But this year, we won first place in what was widely regarded as the largest hacking and security conference in the world. And in the process, we And in the process, we defeated over 90 other teams, including the 3-time champion that included professionals from Singapore's cybersecurity agency. How about that? And this wasn't an aberration, because the year before, we had either done first place or placed within the top 3 of 8 different professional competitions. So our students' success just reflects the mentoring that they're getting from our elite faculty, who are committed to producing the talent needed to meet the threats that we are seeing in the digital era. Now, I am thrilled that we have some 200 of our students. Could you just raise your hands? Those students are the future of cybersecurity. And I hope that you'll take the time to engage with them, because when you partner with USF, you give our students a chance to apply what they're learning throughout the region and beyond. And now, you know, we've teased a picture of what the future Bellini College might look like, but we'll be building it on our Tampa campus. And it's going to be a space worthy of innovation, of collaboration, and talent. And all of that defines the extraordinary college in our university. And make no mistake, this college is going to have impact on all of our colleges across the university and across all of our campuses. And because it is so important to invest in the future of our university, especially in this college, I'm proud to share that I have personally given $1 million to support the Bellini College. But there's more good news. My very good friends, Kate Tiedemann and Ellen Cotton, saw how excited I was about this initiative. They saw how deeply I believe that this is the legacy for our entire region. And they were so inspired that they have joined me, and they pledged another $1 million of their own. So together, we are investing in the next generation of leaders, those who will protect the future for us in cybersecurity, technology, and make what's possible for the years to come in global economy. So I invite you all to join us. Help us build something that's really special, that will transform our university, but inspire those for the future. We are committed to working with each and every one of you to make sure that this community, our region, is the leader in cybersecurity, in artificial intelligence, and in national security. I'm so excited about the future. I can't wait to see what comes next. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak to you. Enjoy your conference, and go Bulls!
Go Bulls! Thank you very much, Rhea. Wonderful. So Rhea, just to let you know, because you were so generous and Kate Tiedemann was so generous, that Lauren and I are going to match your gift and also donate. So thank you very much. And thank you for all of your leadership at the University of South Florida for so many years. You've done such an amazing job. It is, and look, they even have a football team now, okay? And it kind of hurts because I went to the University of Florida and you skunked us. So, but I got my MBA at USF, so let's be clear about that. All right, so now we want to talk about military, okay? The third pillar, right? Military, MacDill Air Force Base is an amazing place. I mean, it is a truly amazing place. Like I mentioned, it's United States Central Command, okay? It's also got Special Operations Command. What do you think they do in Special Operations? A lot of it is cyber espionage, okay? In fact, I'll just give you one quick one. We all know about the Iran 12-day war. 12 days? A war in 12 days? How do you pull off a war in 12 days? The answer is you spend many years in advance of the 12-day war in cyber espionage and infiltration, so that you know where everything is, you know where to hit everything, you know who's at the top of the pyramid when it comes to the military. You set up a meeting, literally, they set up a meeting, Hassad, they set up a meeting, okay? They set up a meeting where the heads of the Iranian military would all meet at a location that they designated, and then they bombed it. Okay, now that's not, I know that sounds brutal, but it's war. And if you're going to have a war, better to have a 12-day war than what we're seeing with Russia and Ukraine, where we've got this protracted 3-year war, right? There's a whole lot less. So to talk about that, I'd like to bring up to the stage the General Frank McKenzie, retired general who was in charge of United States Central Command and is now in charge of the Florida Center for Cybersecurity, Global and National Security Institute here in Tampa Bay, CyberBay. General McKenzie, good to see you.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
So I know you can't answer a lot of questions because it's military questions, and we've done this before, but I would like you to at least let the crowd know what you can know, because we're painting kind of a gloomy picture here. It's not a gloomy picture as much as it's a challenge. I want to be clear about that, and an opportunity, okay? And that's why CyberBay needs to address this. But how well are we equipped to deal with this from a military standpoint?
Well, Arnie, first of all, thanks for being here. Thanks for extraordinary generosity, and I'm delighted to be a part of this great program. So the fact of the matter is, the United States has unsurpassed offensive cyber capabilities. We have the best offensive cyber capabilities in the world. As the CENTCOM commander, I employed them many times. I'll talk a little bit more about this tomorrow, but Arthur C. Clarke, a famous science fiction writer, once said that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And what we can do in cyber is, in fact, indistinguishable from magic. The problem is we're a fighter with a strong right but a glass jaw. We are the most vulnerable nation in the world to cyber attacks for many of the reasons that you have already outlined, because we're a free and open society, because we are so technologically advanced, because so many of our systems ride on the unclassified internet. The Department of Defense, despite its many protections, cannot function without the unclassified internet. So all of these things make us uniquely vulnerable, coupled with a fragmented policy. What's our red line? What are we going to tolerate? People don't know, and by people I mean China, I mean Russia, I mean Iran, I mean North Korea, people that test us every day in real time. They don't know they really don't know what our deterrence policy is in cyberspace. And you're right, they're attacking us every day. It's not a Cold War, it's a hot war that's being waged all the time. And sometimes we're prevailing and sometimes we're not.
So, I mean, that's good news that we have unparalleled capability, and we're going to keep that sort of undercover, so to speak. But it's nice to know that. I would also just sort of ask this question. It seems to me that the Americans in the United States of America, we export a lot of technology, and it's private technology mostly. But it would also seem to me that that would be to our advantage.
In general, I think the wide exportation of American technology, and what I know a lot about is defense technology, is good for the people that are using it. It's good for us in a variety of ways, because for one thing, typically with our defense technology, we get a vote on how that technology is used, and that's important. And that's a big difference between us and, say, China, who exports technology with no, what we would call end-user controls on that technology. I will say this very clearly, given a choice, people want to buy U.S. technology. The technology is better, the training is better, the support is better, just the presence of the United States behind that technology is better. So yes, it is very much to our benefit to continue to export at scale, and because it is a virtuous circle.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, General McKenzie. Appreciate all of your work. And by the way, thank you so much for your service to the United States of America and your continued service at Cyber Florida. You're an amazing man and a Citadel graduate.
Thanks so much. Go Bulls!
Okay, let's talk to our fourth pillar, the government. And we're so fortunate today because we have both the Tampa mayor, Clearwater mayor, and St. Pete mayor of these cities, the great cities of CyberBay. So if I could get Mayor Jane Castor, Mayor Ken Welch, and Mayor Bruce Rector come up to the stage very quickly, and we will thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Arnie.
Great to meet you.
Great to see you.
Thank you so much for coming. This is Tampa Bay right here. There it is. Tampa Bay right there. That's Tampa Bay. Come on over here, center stage here. So tell me, what are you all seeing in the government space and your challenges? Maybe tell us a little bit about your challenges and maybe some of your victories. What are you all seeing from a government standpoint?
Well, we're seeing what everybody else sees, not only in government, but out in the community, and that is that relentless day-to-day attacks and trying to infiltrate our systems. And so that's something that we are working on 24/7 in our government, and also trying to help out our entire community. I think the benefit for us is that we all work very, very closely together. We're very collaborative in CyberBay.
That's great. So how about St. Pete? What are y'all doing?
So I would add, and good morning, everybody, that what I see is that unity. So when you introduce the USF students, this happens to be the 40th year, Madam President, since I graduated from USF in 1985. And in accounting, by the way.
In accounting.
But even back then, the region led in protecting our nation's security, whether it was SOCOM or CENTCOM at MacDill, or on our side of the bay in Pinellas County, we had Honeywell, we had Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, and the busiest Coast Guard air station in the nation. And now, what we're seeing now 40 years later is that evolution of how we respond to that threat. And at a regional level, we work together based on what's best for our region and for our community, and that focus is really something I'm proud about.
That's great.
Yep.
That's great. How about Clearwater? A lot going on in Clearwater these days.
A lot going on in Clearwater, but throughout the region. I think What the public doesn't see is how closely Ken and Jane and I work together on things all year long. But we've been working in the past year and a half, 2 years, on economic development, finding a right answer for economic development, not just for Clearwater or St. Petersburg or Tampa, but for the entire Tampa Bay region. And so this is exciting to me. Arnie, you started it by mentioning football, but we like to compete. And so we are so happy that the Bulls are one of the top 25 college football teams in the country. Go Bulls. And as of this morning, our CyberBay Buccaneers have the best record in the NFL.
All right, Bucks.
Yeah, good point.
And you ask why? Well, two things. Talent. Talent matters. I worked in college football and in the NFL myself. If you don't have the right talent, you can't be successful in college football or the NFL. And the second is collaboration. You got to get all those pieces to work together. And so this effort, I think, Arnie, is really important and is a great place for us to be successful as a region. Because, as you pointed out, we have the talent here already. It's so hard to recruit talent to Tampa Bay for many different reasons, but we already have the talent here to get started. And the second is the collaboration. We work together so seamlessly, not just as government leaders, but all of our lives. You know, all of our lives are so interconnected. You may live in Clearwater, but you work in Tampa, you work in St. Petersburg, vice versa. Your entertainment, we are one community. Our lives are spread out over different communities in this region. So those two things are talent we already have here and the built-in way we have already in our everyday lives to collaborate. That's why this effort's going to be successful. It's our way forward, and thank you for gathering us together to do this. I think you can say successfully with this event today, it is a first down CyberBay.
There you go. Well, before you leave, I'd like to give each one of you a big Happy Gilmore check. So to the city of Tampa, $100,000. City of Clearwater, $100,000, and the city of St. Pete. And now what you can do with this is you can redeem this at the University of South Florida, at the Bellini College, to train your cybersecurity professionals. We also have the Cyber Herd that can actually do evaluation of your digital infrastructure. So please take advantage of these $100,000 vouchers at the University of South Florida, and we thank you so much for coming today, and thank you for being Tampa Bay CyberBay.
Thank you, Arnie. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
Can we do a quick photo with you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. You want? Oh, yeah. Get a photo real quick here.
Yeah. Thank you, Arnie.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate it. Okay. So, we're going to wrap it up now, but we need to keep this momentum going. We've gotten great momentum so far. Please take this picture. Please take a picture of this, okay? And please join one of the work groups. We've got 3 work groups. So the idea here is we're going to have this conference every year. But we need to be working on these problems in between the conferences and then coming back and celebrating all that we have solved together. And the way that we're going to do that is these working groups, all right? We've organized 3 of them: workforce development, undergraduate curriculum, trying to modernize that and making it effective for today's workforce, and then guiding the solution community, guiding them and by the way, encouraging them to lower their prices. I mean, that's one of the big things that we see. But as you can see, by the way, innovators, the opportunity is massive. So there's an economic theory that says that you can actually make more money with lower prices and higher volume, okay? So start thinking along those lines, please. Please join a work group, take this picture. You can sign up right here on the website for one of these working groups. And then also, we wanted to mention that we have an amazing Capture the Flag happening. We have over 200 white hat hackers participating, and they're participating for $40,000 of prize money and the coveted CyberBay Cup, the first CyberBay Cup. Okay. All right. And then last but not least, please visit our Solutions Pavilion, our vendors in the Solution Pavilion, our Diamond sponsors, as well as our other sponsors. They're all here. They've got great solutions and great ideas for your businesses, so please come visit all of them in the Solutions Pavilion. And then my last appeal, we need you, okay? We need you. We need you, innovators. We need you, educators. We need you, military. And we need you, government, to band together and to solve this big problem that we have and this great opportunity that we have here at CyberBay, Tampa Bay.
The battle never ends. With vigilance, creativity, and unity, we rise above the attack. Alone, each is strong. Together, CyberBay is unstoppable.
Thank you.